Hare Krishna Mataji's and Prabhuji's. Today is Narsimha Chaturdashi, so I pray to Narsimha Dev that he may bless us with all good health and bhakti throughout our life, throughout this and this lifetime and the next life that we get. Hare Krishna. I'm just reciting that Narasimha Kavacha for all our benefit. Hare Krishna. Or anybody wants to recite Narasimha Kavacham?
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. You want to recite Mataji?
Yeah. Okay Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Shri Shri Narsimha Dev Bhagwan ki jai. Narsimha
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, shall I start Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. You can start. Hare
Narsimha Kavacham Vakshe Prahlade Noditam Pura Sarva Rakshakaram Punyam Sarvopadravanasanam Sarva Sampatkaram Chaiva Swarga Moksha Pradayakam Dhyata Anusimham Devesam Hema Simhasanastitam Vivrutasya Trinayanam Saradindu Samaprabham Lakshmyalingitavamangam Vibhuti Virupasitam Chaturbhujam Komalangam Swarna Kundala Shobhitam Shirajo Sobhito Raskam Ratna Keyura Mudritam Tapta Kanchana Sankasam Pita Nirmala Vasastam Indradi Suramaulista Spuran Manikya Diptibihi Virajita Padadvanvam Senka Chakradi Hetibihi Garutmata Chavinaya Suyamanam Mudanvitam Sahrut Kamala Samvasam Krutva Tu Kavacham Patet Nusimmo Me Sirapatu Loka Rakshatma Sambhavaha Sarva Gopi Sambhavasa Palam Me Rakshatu Dvanim Nusimho Me Druso Patu Soma Suryagni Lochalaha Smrutim Me Patru Harihi Munivarya Stuti Priyaha नासामे सिंहनासस्तु मुखं लक्ष्मी मुखप्रियः सर्वविद्याधिपपातु नृसिंहो रसनं मम वक्रं पात्विन्दुवदना सदा प्रह्लादवन्दितः नृसिंहः पातु मे कण्ठौ स्कन्धभूभरणान्तकृत् दिव्यास्त्रशोभिता भुजः नृसिंहः पातु मे भुजौ करौ मे देववरदो नृसिंहः पातु सर्वतः हृदयं योगिसाध्यस्य निवासं पातु मे हरिः मध्यं पातु हिरण्याक्ष वक्षकुक्षि विदारणः नाभिं मे पातु हरिः स्वनाभि ब्रह्म संस्थितः ब्रह्माण्डकोटियकट्यं यस्यासौ पातु मे कटिं गुह्यं मे पातु गुह्यानां मन्त्राणां गुह्यरूपधृत् ऊरुमनोभव पातु जाननी नररूपधृत् जङ्गे पातु दराबारा हर्ता योऽसौ नृकेसरिः सुरराज प्रदपातु पादौ मे नृहरीश्वरः सहर्षशीर्ष पुरुष पातु मे सर्वसस्तनं महोग्र पूर्वता पातु महावीराग्निजोग्नितः महाविष्णु दक्षिणे तु महाज्वालस्तु नैऋतौ पश्चिमे पातु सर्वेषु दिशि मे सर्वतोमुखः नृसिंह पातु वायव्यं सौम्यं भूषण विग्रहः ईशान्यं पातु भद्रो मे सर्वमङ्गलदायकः संसार भैतः पातो मृत्युर्निकेसरिः इदं नृसिंह कवचं प्रह्लादमुखमण्डितं भक्तिमायः पटे नित्यं सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते पुत्रवा धनवा लोकै दीर्घायुरुपजायते यं यं कामयते कामं तं तं प्राप्नोत्य संशयं सर्वत्र जयमाप्नोति सर्वत्र विजयी भवेत् भूम्यन्तरिक्ष दिव्यानां ग्रहाणां विनिवारणं वृश्चिकोरगसम्भूता विशापहरणं परं ब्रह्म राक्षस यक्षाणां दूर्योत्सारणकारणं भूर्जे वा तालपत्रे वा कवचं लिखितं शुभं करमूले धृतं येन सिद्धयो कर्म सिद्धयः देवासुरमनुष्येषु स्वं समेवा जयं लभेत् एकसंज्ञं त्रिसंज्ञं वा यः पठेन्नियतो नरः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं मुक्तिं च विन्दति 32 पठेत् शुद्धात्मानां नृणां कवचस्यास्य मन्त्रस्य मन्त्रसिद्धि प्रजायते अनेन मन्त्रराजेन कृत्वा भस्माभिमन्त्रणं तिलकं विन्यसेद्यस्यु तस्य ग्रहभयं हरे त्रिवारं जपमानस्तु दत्तं वार्याभिमन्त्र च प्रासयेत्यो नरो मन्त्रं निसम्मध्यानमाचर तस्य रोगा प्रणश्यन्ति ये च स्युकुक्षिसम्भवा किमत्र बहुनो तेन नृसिंहसदृशो भवेत् मनसा चिन्तितं यत्यु स तज्ज्ञाप्योच्च संशयम् गर्जन्तं गर्जयन्तं निजभुजपटलं स्फोटयन्तं हठन्तं रूपयन्तं तापयन्तं दिवि भुविदिति च क्षेपयन्तं क्षिपन्तं क्रन्दन्तं रोचयन्तं दिशि सत्तं संहरन्तं भरन्तं वीक्षिन्तं घूर्णयन्तं कर्णीकरसते दिव्यसिंहं नमामि इति श्री ब्रह्मांड पुराणे प्रह्लादोक्तं श्री नरसिंह कवचं संपूर्णम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान
हरे
की जय,
कृष्ण।
प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
जय
हरे
प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. It was so wonderful.
थैंक
Hare
यू
Krishna.
माता।
Thank you so much, Mataji. Anybody wants to recite Narsimha Aarti? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Anirudh Prabhuji has joined it.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Welcome, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
yeah,
हरे
actually,
कृष्ण
they can start
प्रणाम।
the prayer. They can start. No problem. Not take much time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Any Matajis or?
Shall I sing, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्नमाम्यहं। श्री नरसिंहा जय जय श्री नरसिंहा प्रहलादेशा मुखपद्मा कृंभा नमस्ते नरसिंहाय नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादनाददायिने प्रह्लादनाददायिने हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः शिलढङ्कानकालाये तो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहिर्नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपूतनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। नरसिंह भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you.
Prabhuji, pranams, Prabhuji. Welcome, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Over to you,
Dhanasarma.
Prabhuji. Hare.
Yes, I'll start with the small kirtan and then we'll take up the shlokas. Very well. So, wishing devotees, all devotees, a very blissful Krishna conscious Narsim Chaturdasi. Hare Hare Bol. जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारि यमुना तीरा वनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा मुरलीधर राधे जय राधा रमण राधा जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा विनोद राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा कृष्णा बलराम जय कृष्णा बलराम जय कृष्णा बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन धाम जय वृंदावन जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानी जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय परम सुप्रतिकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदा समष्टि His Divine Grace of Charan Bhakti Dham Shri Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. ISKCON Samstapaka Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Jai Mishpat Param Supratikacharya Stotra Sadasima His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Anant Koti Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ राधा श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय मायापुर नदी धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी द्वारका धाम की जय गंगे में हमने माई की जय तुलसी भक्ति देव की जय समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशन बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled duties all glories to assembled duties all glories to assembled duties all glories Shri Guru Shri Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Krishna. So we'll start with the prayer. First of all, welcome to all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam session, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And also on this very auspicious Narsimdev Chaturdashi. So we are doing the satsang. I'm very, very grateful to all the devotees for having assembled and also taking the shelter of the holy name and taking the shelter of the holy scriptures. Hare Krishna. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vande Ham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatha Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savdutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakan Jana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shubhan Sute Devi Pranamami Haripri Pancha Kalpatarup Shukrupa Sindhu Pyavacha Patitanam Pavane Vaishnave Pyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jay Mudhire Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Krishna. So we are taking today's shloka number 11, chapter 24, canto 3. Sabhajen Vishuddhena Chetasa Tatchikirshitam Praharshyamane Ashubhihi Kardamam Chedam Abhyadhat. Sabhajen Vishuddhena Chetasa Tatchikirshitam Praharshyamaner Ashubhihi Kardamam Chedam Abhyadhat. Sabhajen Vishuddhena Chetasa Tatchikirshitam Praharshyamaner Ashubhihi Kardamam Chedam Abhyadhat. Word by word meaning, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sabhajen, worshipping, Vishuddhena, pure, Chetasa, with a heart, Tat, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chikirshitam, the intended activities, Praharshyamani, gladdened, Ashubhihi, with senses, Kardamam, to Kardamamni, Cha, and Devahati, Idam, this, Abhyadat, spoke. Translation. After worshipping the Supreme Lord with gladdened senses and a pure heart for his intended activities, as an incarnation, Brahma spoke as follows to Kardama and Devahati. Yeah, so devotees can read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Anita Mataji, you can read the purport, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. As explained in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, anyone who understands the transcendental activities, appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is to be considered liberated. Brahma is therefore a liberated soul. Although he is in charge of this material world, he is not exactly like the common living entities. Since he is liberated from the majority of the follies of the common living entities, he was in knowledge of the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he therefore worshipped the Lord's activities, and with a glad heart he also praised Kardama Muni because the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Kapila had appeared as his son. One who can become the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly a great devotee. There is a verse spoken by Brahmana in which he says that he does not know what the Vedas and what the Puranas are. But while others might be interested in the Vedas or Puranas, he is interested in Nanda Maharaj, who appeared as the father of Krishna. The Brahmana wanted to worship Nanda Maharaj because the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a child crawled in the yard of his house. These are some of the good sentiments of devotees. If a recognized devotee brings forth the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son, how he should be praised. Therefore, Brahma not only worshipped the incarnation of Godhead, Kapila, but also praised his so-called father Kardama. Hare Krishna.
Should we go to the next shloka, Prabhuji?
No, I think I will take up this and then. Yeah, because after the Brahma's prayer is there. Omagdantimarandhasya Gnananjana Shalaka Chakshmultimana Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are in this chapter which is entitled The Renunciation of Kardama Muni. And as we have seen in the previous chapter, that which is actually the
Lamentation of Devahuti.
Lamentation of Devahuti. So that happened, and then that is, I mean, after the wedding, after the marriage, and then she gave birth to that 9 daughters. And then finally she came to that understanding that what she had done, I mean, she was actually taken over by the illusory energy of the Lord, and she had not fixed her mind the Lord. So all that she considered herself like that. And actually she is actually talking on our behalf, how we as conditioned souls are getting captivated in this material energy. And she's just making that plea. And why she is doing that is actually she wanted to get the higher knowledge and the knowledge to be shared to the other devotees as well. So that happens, and then there is one shloka and there is one comment which she makes. On to the wrong chapter, 1 second.
Hare Krishna. Which shloka?
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I'm just taking from my yeah. This is the 23rd chapter actually, the Indio. Yeah, so that in that 53, she is quoting here that until now we have simply wasted so much of our time in sense gratification, neglecting to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Not knowing your transcendental situation, I have loved you while remaining attached to the objects of the senses. Nonetheless, let the affinity I have developed for you rid me of all fear. And 55, association for the sense gratification is actually the path of bondage, but the same type of association performed with a saintly person leads to path of liberation, even if performed without knowledge. So this way, she's coming to the platform of lamentation. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose ritualistic performance do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Person of God, must be considered dead, although he is breathing. Such a very heavy statement she is making. So, nehayat karma dharmaya na viragya kalpate na tirtha pada sevayai jivan api mruto hisa. So ultimately, that as we know that as human life, it is very important that we take up to this religious practices and spiritually we have to elevate. So we have to come to that Jiver Swarupai Nitya Krishnera Das. Only then you can reach the goal of your life. Otherwise, it is going to be very difficult. And for that, most important thing is that you have to first start with the renunciation, Vairagya Bhakti, Nija, Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came for that purpose, to show how we have to do the Vairagya. So that's how he, at the age of 24, he took renunciation, and then he became a sannyasi. Of course, he had a Lord, being a Lord, he had his own plan, and then he came for that. I mean, it's not easy for an ordinary person to also do like that. A person especially who is having his mother, living with his mother, and then was having his wife, and then to take renunciation and then come to sannyas. But Mahaprabhu had his own reasons. Lord himself, Krishna himself, had his own reason why he had to come and then take that. But at least in our cases, conditioned souls, we have to come to that platform of accepting that renunciation, vairagya, and then only, then we can perform the devotional service. And once we are doing that, then slowly we can elevate, and then we can progress. So she is telling that if anyone is not able to do those things, renunciation and then take to bhakti, is considered as dead, although he is breathing. So that is how she says. And then finally, my Lord, surely I have been solidly cheated by insurmountable illusory energy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. For in spite of having obtained your association, which gives liberation from till bondage, I did not seek such liberation. So how Maya's potencies are, attacking every day. So I should have taken the shelter of your association. So all this she is lamenting. And then finally, he's consoling her, and then says that don't worry, now the Lord himself will, your son himself, the Lord will come, and then he will guide you. And then finally we understand that how Kapil Dev also appeared, and what was the event at that time, how the situation was. All the auspicious stars and alignment, everything was there, and then the demigods, everybody had that clue that yes, there is this Lord himself coming in the womb of Devahuti, and then he will be completely spiritualizing the whole world and purifying this entire atmosphere. So they were very happy that the Lord himself is coming, and then he's going to deliver. So at the time of his descent on earth, demigods in the form of raining clouds sounded musical instruments in sky. Celestial musicians, Gandharvas, sang the glories of the Lord, while celestial dancing girls known as Apsaras danced in joyful ecstasy. Brahma, the firstborn living being, went along with Marichi and other sages to the place of Karma's hermitage, so surrounded by the river Saraswati. So here we see that Lord Brahma also came along with the demigods, and they had the darshan of the Lord. And then why Kapil Dev had to come? He had to teach the Sankhya Yoga, the philosophy of the Sankhya Yoga, which is actually talking about the 24 elements, and in very analytical study of these elements and how each one of them are interlinked, and then how important it is that we practice according to the principles laid down by the Lord. So here in this shloka, the shloka number 11, now we come across that this after worshipping after worshipping the Supreme Lord with gladdened senses and a pure heart for his intended activities as an incarnation, Brahma spoke as follow to Kardama and Devahuti. So Prabhupada explains that in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, anyone who understands the transcendental activities, so this is that shloka 4.9, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha, Tyaktva Deham Naiti Mameti Sorjana. So Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti Sorjana. So one who can understand the form of the Lord, that he has his appearance and disappearance, his karma, his leelas and activities, for him he is considered to be in full knowledge, and for him he actually goes back to the spiritual world. He doesn't have to come back to in this or live further, or he has to continue his life in this as in material form, but he can go back to the spiritual world. So that is what is mentioned here. Proper appearance and disappearance of Supreme Lord is to be considered liberated. Brahma is therefore a liberated soul. Although he is in charge of the material world, he is not exactly like the common living entity. Since he is liberated from the majority of the follies of the common living entities, he was in knowledge of the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore worshipped the Lord's activities, and with a glad heart he also praised Karma Muni, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Kapila, had appeared as his son. So here the question comes is that we also are trying to understand the activities of the Lord and hearing katha and glorifying Him, and then wonderful leelas what the Lord is performed, studying the scriptures, all that we are doing. But then how far we have really understood, how far we have really got the conception of the Supreme Lord, how is His qualities, and those things we are still unable. We are still bewildered by this Maya, by the illusory energy of the Lord. We are always it's always like going ups and downs. Our bhakti sometimes it is in the peak when we are in association of the devotees, and then when you're in the temple and all that. But the moment we come out of the temple and come out of the association, immediately it drops. We just get back to the material activities, and then we get caught. Now again we have to struggle. Again we are in the mode of sometimes passion and ignorance, and then life goes on. Then again somebody has to reignite, reawaken us. Then we get back to the normal condition of devotional service, getting some inclination, and then we continue. So like this, it is always in the peaks and troughs. It's going like a this parabolas and inverted parabolas. So how important it is that we have to take up our sadhana, at whatever levels that we have to take up, and then maintain that consistency. That's why Bhagavatam says that savai pumsa parodharma yatho bhaktir adokshaje apratita ahoitiki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. So that should be the devotional service what we are doing. Without that material cause, and then ahaituki, and then apratiyata means without any stop, means as much as possible continuously, and maintain that tempo. Then only he will reach then he will reach his common destination, the goal of his life. So like that, it's of course a very tough situation for us, balancing the material life and the spiritual life, family life, and the spiritual practices. So that is like a walking on a trapeze, like a trapeze, how he's walking on this rope. So this is a continuous struggle as far as devotees are concerned, but we need to do that, and slowly as we keep doing it, it should become a habit. Once it becomes a habit, then it becomes a part of our daily routine. So like this, Prabhupada is mentioning that he was, although he was the first person, he was first person in the material world, Brahmaji. Although he was he's in charge of the material world, but he's not exactly like a common living entity. He was something above all these aspects. Only like how conditioned soul can come into the trap, or can commit so many mistakes, or he can actually suffer in this material world. But Brahmaji is not of that caliber. He is actually in a very, very elevated status, and he is glorifying Brahmaji here, and then he says that when the glorification of Brahma is with Kardama Muni, so Kardama Muni is actually the father of the Lord, Kapil Dev. So it cannot be an ordinary person who can give birth to a Lord himself. So that way, he's also a great devotee. So Prabhupada says that one who can become the father of Supreme Person of Godhead is certainly a great devotee. Therefore, there is a verse spoken by a Brahmana in which he says that he does not know what the Vedas and what the Puranas are. But while others might be interested in the Vedas or Purana, he is interested in Nanda Maharaj, who appeared as the father of Krishna. The Brahmana wanted to worship Nanda Maharaj because Supreme Personality of Godhead as child crawled in the yard of his house. These are some of the good sentiments of the devotees. If a recognized devotee brings forth the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son, how he should be praised. Therefore, Brahma not only worshipped the incarnation of Godhead, Kapila, but also praised his so-called father, Kardama Muni. Hare Krishna. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning how when Krishna was born in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. So there, how he was glorified. Brahmana had actually glorified. He was taking from the shlokas, and many sages, all of them had come, and then they had glorified. The Brahmana wanted to worship Nanda Maharaj because Supreme Personality of Godhead as a child had crawled. So like this, Prabhupada is glorifying the sentiments of the devotee. If the son is a devotee, then automatically the father is getting the praise. Like for example, today's Narsim Chaturdasi, how Narsimdev appeared, and in that Leela, Prahalad was a great devotee of the Lord because he had the very great fortune of listening the glories of the Lord while he was in the womb of his mother. Although coming from a Asuric family, he had the great opportunity to hear the preachings of Narada Muni while Kaidu was captive in captive in Narada Muni's sage in his hermitage, because when Hiranyakashipu went to the forest to get that immortality, the boon of immortality, and he was praising Brahma. He was meditating on the Brahmaji, and then he did such a very fierce tapas meditation, and he had almost he'd actually the anthill had covered, and then his whole body was eaten away, the skin, flesh. But then only like skeleton remained. So that he had not taken water. He was just holding his breath with the life air, and he had come to such a great austere measure. But then finally Brahma appeared, and then he was pleased with his tapasya, and then he gave the boons. Whatever boons, Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to be immortal, but he said that no, how can I give immortality? I myself are immortal. I have a lifespan. I can't give. But very cleverly, he accepted the boon, and then whatever Hiranyakashipu thought that by saying that you should not be killed in the day or in the night. It should not be killed by man or an animal. It should not be killed by a demigod or any other elevated entities. So like that, nor in the outside the house or inside the house, nor with a weapon or not with a without any without any weapon, like that. So many conditions he had put. Everything the Lord had qualified, not something which is having a life weapon. Like for example, Lord Narsimdev killed Hiranyakashipu from his the nails, and Acharyas say that the nails, although it is growing, we can see that it is a growing, but it is a dead matter. So it that way Lord contracted whatever he had said. So Lord contracted those conditions, and then he very skillfully he was killed. But then finally, when Prahlad was being delivered by Narsimdev, so Narsimdev asked him, "What is the boon you want? Ask me." But then Prahlad said that I don't have any boon. I don't have any wishes. I just I want, and he although I mean you are always protecting me. All that I want is my father to be liberated. So that was the mood of a devotee. And then finally, even Hiranyakashipu got that benediction. Then Lord told that not only your generation, 21 generations before and after will be delivered. So like this, if a son is good, a devotee, then the parents and the entire the forefathers, future and previous, all will be delivered. So that is the greatness. So that is the magnificence of the Lord, and by doing bhakti in our own capacity, we can actually deliver the entire family. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we'll go to the shloka number 12. So the devotee can read the shloka in translation, and somebody can read the purport.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Asya Mataji, you can read the shloka. Divya Mataji translation and Rishabhanu Mataji purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams.
Hare Bol.
Brahmovacha त्वया मे प्रचितिस्तथा कल्पिता निर्व्यालिततः यन्मे संग्रहे वाक्यं भवान् मानयन्. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma said, my dear son Kardama, since you have completely accepted my instructions without duplicity, showing them proper respect, you have worshipped me properly. Whatever instructions you took from me, you have carried out, and therefore you have honored me. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranams.
Very well.
Shabanu Mataji. Shanti Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Can read the
Mataji.
purport.
Yeah, I'm reading. Mataji. Okay. The purport.
Okay, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Very well.
Lord Brahma, as the first living entity within the universe, is supposed to be the spiritual master of everyone, and he is also the father, the creator of all beings. Kardama Muni is one of the Prajapatis or creators of the living entities, and he is also a son of Brahma. Brahma praises Kardama because he carried out the orders of the spiritual master into toto and without cheating. A conditioned soul in the material world has the disqualification of cheating. He has 4 disqualifications. He is sure to commit mistakes. He is sure to be illusioned. He is prone to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. But if one carries out the orders of the spiritual master by disciplic successions or the parampara system, he overcomes the 4 defects. Therefore, knowledge received from the bona fide spiritual master is not cheating. Any other knowledge which is manufactured by the conditioned soul is cheating only. Brahma knew well that Kardama Muni exactly carried out the instructions received from him, and that he actually honored his spiritual master. To honor the spiritual master means to carry out his instructions word for word. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, Haribo. So here the praise is continuing the praise, and then he's telling that you took my instructions without duplicity, showing them proper respect. You worship me properly. Whatever instructions you took from me, I have carried out. Therefore, you have honored me. So Prabhupada is quoting that one shloka, how with the Guru's mercy, the knowledge is fully revealed. Yasadeve parabhakti yathot. So that in the shloka it says that if you are doing your worship of the Guru in the same way how you are doing the Lord, and then automatically the scriptures will be revealed, because the master's spiritual master's mercy is always there. And then but you should again treat the spiritual master in the same way how you treat the Lord. Of course they are not the same, but the spiritual master is actually a transparent medium of the Lord. So if you have to get the mercy of the Lord, first you have to please your spiritual master. So Lord Brahma, as the first living entity, is supposed to be spiritual master of everyone, and is father, creator of all beings. Kardama Muni is one of the Prajapati, as we know, or creator of and he is also son of Brahma. And Prabhupada gives mentions that the 4 disqualifications we have. What is that 4 defects we have? That we are bound to make mistakes. There is no human who is not bound to make mistake. We all commit mistakes, and he should be in Maya or illusion. And the biggest illusion is that we think that we are the body, and we are always glorifying the body or trying to keep the body in good condition, happy. Of course, it is not bad. It is also important that we keep our body in good health and good condition. But most important is again to take care of the soul, the Atma, which is housed, or which is which is inside our, which is caged inside this material body. So that is our true duty. Then What is the third one? That he's prone to cheat others. So there is no person who is not cheat others. We always try to manipulate things. We try to cheat. We just want to get the best out of whatever deal we have, and then we have that propensity. It's not that we try to be as much good as possible, but then for our selfish motives or selfish achievements, we always do that cheating. Like for example, even if you're earning so much salary, many people, many devotees or many people would not even share what is that they got, how much salary they got, even to their own wife or their own family members. They'll say that no, this much, that much, and then they try to, if they get something good, also some bonus, some increment, they're afraid, oh, this might be spent or this might be utilized. Why I should say? So we always try to be like that. We always are selfish. We don't want to, even to our own kith and kin, we don't tell the truth. We try to, and then as a trader or a businessman, he is the first number one. In business, if he has to survive and make profit, it's always a cheating propensity. Nobody will say that this is the right price. He always say that even if somebody is asking, he'll say, this is the best price, this is the most reasonable, I'm not keeping any profit, I'm selling it at cost. It's like that, all that they say, but actually they would have added some profit. And even if suppose somebody is selling fresh prepared prasad or food items or something like that, even if the item may be stale, the sweets may be stale about a week or 10 days, but still he will say, no, this is just now I have prepared, just now I kept it in the cupboard or in the showcase, so just now we are selling it. It's all so like that. You always want to cheat. Ultimately, you just want to make money out of it. So people have that tendency to cheat. But if everybody can overcome that, the cheating propensity, and then try to be faithful, try to be sincere, and talk always the truth, for them the Lord will definitely give the real mercy. Of course, that's a very big order, but we still have to try. At least in devotee circle, devotees are very, very faithful and sincere. They don't want to do that cheating, because Vaishnavas, and as we know, that they are paradukha dukhi. They are always they see, they become very sad and unhappy if they see somebody in that in unhappy situation or in miserable condition. So they always go all out to help the other person, and then give them and what is the biggest help that they're going to give is the glories of the holy name. Just by preaching and by giving them this mercy, giving them prasad, giving them the holy scriptures, and then talking good about good practices, spiritual practices, that itself is the biggest mercy for Prabhupada. That's why he said Dayala Sagara. He was full of compassion, like an ocean of compassion. He gave to all the people in public, and then he brought them from that sea of misery, from the ocean of misery. He brought them. He gave that real knowledge. And then he gave that pulling hand, the helping hand, and then he's still doing that, and millions have already got benefited, and still millions and millions of people will be getting benefited just by giving this knowledge of the holy name. And then the fourth defect is that senses are imperfect. We can never hear properly, we can never see properly. Up to a certain distance, our vision is intact. So like that, our senses are not up to the mark. I mean, our tongue can taste only up to certain level, up to certain limit. Our stomach has a capacity. Everything has a capacity. We cannot go beyond that capacity. If you are going beyond the capacity, then you have to suffer. The more a person is addicted to sweets or eating some very fried items, or very foods which are highly fatty or with carbohydrates, he will suffer. He will get diabetic. Blood pressure will increase. Heart diseases. So many things will happen. Why? Because organs are also having a limitation. Senses are imperfect, and because our senses are imperfect, we cannot actually grasp the actual situation. So that's why Rupa Goswami has given that excellent, wonderful shloka अतः श्री कृष्ण नामादि न भवेत् ग्राह्यम इंद्रिये सेवोन्मुखे हि जिह्वादो स्वयमेव स्फुरतः. So we cannot with our senses understand the Lord. It is beyond comprehension. So how much ever we try to, and we come to wrong conclusions sometimes. So, but how we can understand how that can help by sevanmukhe hi jihvado, by using our tongue, by the same material tongue, use it for chanting the holy name, glorifying the Lord, and then taste the prasadam. Then this way we can purify the senses, and automatically the senses will manifest the spiritual potency. Otherwise, it is not possible. So that way, we have to understand, and we have to continue our spiritual journey. So if one carries out the order of spiritual master by his succession or parampara, he can overcome these 4 defects. So that is what the mercy of the guru and the parampara. So that much potency they can give us, but we have to be abiding to that. We have to without diligently do the practices. So therefore, knowledge received from bona fide spiritual master is not cheating. Any other knowledge which is man manufactured, those are the one which are cheating, because Brahma knew well that Kardama Muni exactly carried the instructions received from him, and then he had actually honored his spiritual master. Yeah. So following the instructions of the Guru, word by word, like Prabhupada says, to honor spiritual master means to carry out his instructions word by word. So in the morning when we sing the glories of the Lord, glories of the Guru, the Guru Ashtakam, Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasada, Yasya Aprasada Nagati Kutopi, Dhyayan Svam Tasya Yasya Trisandhya, Vande Shri Guru Charanarvindam. So this is the shloka, the 8th verse we chant, that to get the mercy of the Guru. And then if we don't get the mercy of the Guru, then we don't have a standing. There's no way that we can be benefited. I mean, we will not have a real mercy of the destination. We don't know what is going to be our destination. Yasya prasada nagati kutopi. We'll be probably loitering or hanging around, and we can drift away from the real mercy. So that's why we have to memorize, or we have to do his continuously. We have to remember the mercy of the Guru, and then normally we do the Trisandhya. We do the Gayatri mantra. When we after the first initiation is there, when we go to the second initiation, Brahminical initiation, we also do the Gayatri mantra. In that we actually take the shelter of the Guru. So that is the Trisandhya. When we say that Dhyayan Svam Tasya Yasya Trisandhya. So when we say Trisandhya as a part of the scripture, it is mentioned what is the practice. It is a Trisandhya, 3 times of the Sandhya Kal, that is in the early morning Brahma Muhurta and the afternoon time, and then the third is the Sandhya of the evening time. We have to remember the Guru, but actually it is not, does not mean that only 3 times, but it is that time you do actually take that Gayatri mantra. You're supposed to do the Gayatri mantra, but then throughout as much as possible we should be remembering the mercy of the Guru and Krishna. So both are like 2 parallel lines, like a railway track. Both have to go. The train cannot move on just one wheel of one side. As much you do Guru worship, that much you should also do Krishna's worship, and then it should be simultaneously done. Then only our journey will be progressing. We can move forward. Hare Krishna. So we'll go to the 13th shloka.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vrishabhanu Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandat pranam. एतावत्तेव शुश्रूषा कार्यापि तरिपुत्रकैः बालमित्यम् मन्येत् गौरवेण गुरोवर्चः सिनोनिम्स इत्तवती. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. You need to read the synonyms, Mataji. Sudha Mataji, you can read the translation. Vidya Gopu Mataji, you can read the purport. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandat pranam. Translation by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sons ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. One should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, "Yes, sir." Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Pranams.
Purport
by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Two words in this verse are very important. One word is Pitri and another word is Guroh. The son or disciple should accept the words of his spiritual master and father without hesitation. Whatever the father and spiritual master order should be taken without argument. Yes. There should be no instance in which the disciple or the son says, "This is not correct. I cannot carry it out." When he says that, he is fallen. The father and the spiritual master are on the same platform because a spiritual master is the second father. The higher classes are called Dvija, twice born. Whenever there is a question of birth, there must be a father. The first birth is made possible by the actual father, and the second birth is made possible by the spiritual master. Sometimes the father and the spiritual master may be the same man, and sometimes they are different men. In any case, the order of the father or the order of the spiritual master must be carried out without hesitation, with an immediate yes. There should be no argument. That is the real service to the father and to the spiritual master. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has stated that the order of the spiritual master is the life and the soul of the disciples. As a man cannot separate his life from his body, a disciple cannot separate the order of the spiritual master from his life. If a disciple follows the instruction of the spiritual master in that way, he is sure to become perfect. This is confirmed in the Upanishads. The import of Vedic instruction is revealed automatically only to one who has implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and in his spiritual master. One may be materially considered an illiterate man, but his spiritual illiterate man, but if he has faith in the spiritual master as well as in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the meaning of scriptural revelation is immediately manifested before him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here the similarities and how the respect to the guru and the father is being done. As we know that the material or the seed giving father, the parents have given birth on a material platform. I mean, they have given this material body, but the guru is the one who is actually giving us the spiritual birth. So that's why they are called as Dvija. A person becomes Dvija when he is actually getting the Diksha from the Guru. So the Diksha is very important aspect of a person. And the scriptures say that three very important things are required. One is that you should have a Guru. Every person should have a Guru, and coming from Bonavad Sampradaya. And then they should serve the Guru, and they should take the instructions from the Guru. So this is there amongst the important aspects of being in bhakti, what the disciple has to do. These three are very important. So if these three are there, then our life can be successful. So and Prabhupada also quotes that, confirm the Upanishad, the import of the Vedic instruction is revealed automatically, only who has implicit faith. So that is that shloka which comes in the one of the Upanishads. Yasya deve parabhaktir, yasya deve tata guru, tasyeti katita hi artha prakashante atmanaha. So that if you are treating the guru in the same level, level as the Lord, then automatically these will be the true purport of the scriptures will be revealed without any difficulty. But for that, what is the qualification? That you should actually have the implicit faith. You should have the implicit faith. Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tata guru set katita hi artha prakashante mahatmanah. This is come from the Shvetara Upanishad. Only then, that implicit faith is the one which is important. If you don't have that faith, and if you are doubting, or if you are carried away by different conceptions, then it will be very difficult. You should have that implicit faith. then even an illiterate man or a poor man or whatever it is, his maybe material condition, the Lord can manifest to him. Without that, it is going to be very difficult. So we have we have a very classic example of one devotee, Ananta Alvar. You must have heard about him. So this Ananta Alvar was a disciple of Ramanujacharya. When Ramanujacharya was here about 800, 900 years back, so there was a very dire need of a devotee to take care of the deities in Tirumala, the Tirupati Tirumala. While they were always living in serving the devotees and all in the for example in that area. But there are very few people who are ready to go to the Tirupati, because Tirupati Tirumala at that time was like a forest. A lot of animals, a lot of fierce animals were there. But at the same time, Lord is residing there. The temple is there. So activity had to be carried out on a very regular manner. And, so they wanted the devotees to go there and serve. So when Ramanujacharya asked the devotees whether, we are, who is ready to go, Ananta Alvar, a young grihastha, he took that chance. He took that opportunity. And then despite all that difficulties, he went there and then started serving the Lord. What was his main service? Was to take care of the garden, to see that the adequate flowers are there, and the flowers are offered to the Lord. Because carrying all this paraphernalia and all that on a daily basis, especially perishables like fruits and flowers, was very difficult. At the same time, Lord had to be Venkateshwara had to be treated in a very opulent way. So they wanted to have a garden, and even today we can see that garden next to the temple adjacent. There is a huge flower garden where Ananta Alvar was serving. And then so he was doing on a and then he started, and then when he went there, it was actually barren. Land was barren. He had to really cultivate the plants and then cultivate the flowers. So with his limited knowledge, he started doing that. And then at that point of time, his wife was actually pregnant. And despite the pregnancy, they were doing the earth, the digging work with the shovel, and with all these equipment implements. They were actually trying to build a good garden. So a lot of manual work had to be done. And then hardly any people were there. There was no servants, or there was no men to help them. But they continued despite their pregnancy advanced stages, and they started doing it. And then looking at their committed seva, Lord himself, Balaji or Venkateshwara Srinivasa, was so overwhelmed that he, in fact, came in the form of a young youth boy, and then he wanted to serve. He wanted to help them. But then when the boy was asking, shall I help? I want to help you. You people are taking so much of trouble carrying all the mud, sand, or the fertilizers and manure and all these things, and you're taking so much. I want to help you, like that. Yeah, and then he came. Lord himself came to help. But then Ananta Alvar was so serious. He was so committed. He did not want to be disturbed by anybody else in his duty. So he was the crowbar which was holding. That with that crowbar, and he got so irritated. He wanted to send off that boy, so that he will not disturb us. So he pulled that crowbar which he was digging the earth. He hit the Lord, the boy, and then the crowbar landed on his, it touched and landed on his chin. So that's why even today. And then later on, it was when he realized, when he went back to the temple, all the devotees who were there, they started telling that there is some blood coming from the deity, on the deity of Srinivasa, Venkateshwara, and on the chin. And then they were so surprised, they were so shaken, they were so fearful. Something bad has happened, and then how can this happen? That means somebody has committed some offense, like that. They were thinking, and they were praying. And then later on, they came to know that this has happened. And then all the priests, pujaris and all, that they made an ointment with the karpuram and with the saffron and all, some very herbs which can cleanse the wound of the Lord, and then they placed it on the chin. That's why even today on the Sri Venkateshwara, we can see that there is a white spot here. So that is placed here. Then after some time, when they came home, they came to the temple, Antalvar and his wife, after doing the seva. Then they heard that there is some, this miracle has happened, and then the Lord has heard, and there is a wound on his deity body, on the vigraha, archa vigraha. Then he got really shocked. Oh my God, how can this happen? Then he came to the conclusion. He realized that actually it was his hitting of the Lord, the crowbar which had thrown to the Lord, that had hit him. And then he completely came running, and then he begged forgiveness with the Lord, that I have done this offense, committed this offense. Please forgive me. And like that, he prostrated. But then Lord took it in a very, very positive and in a very jovial way. And then he came in his dream, and then he told that no, what you did is okay, but that shows how much you committed. You came. So I'm so much affectionate to you, and I'm really loving your service and your seva. So please continue. So like that, Lord also reciprocated, and then he blessed the devotee. That's why even today, and they served, both of them served for a long time. There are so many pastimes between them, directly with the Lord and the Anantalvar, his wife. That's why even today, that crowbar is kept as we enter the temple on the top of as we enter in the main entrance. After the door is there, the Anantalvar's crowbar is kept as a memoir. So devotee can take darshan of that, and then they can be blessed. Hari Bol. So we'll go to the next shloka, 14.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read the shloka. Prashanti Mataji, you can read the translation. And now Kishori Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranam Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Ima duhitarak satya tava vatsa sumadhyamaha sargam yetam prabhavaihi svai brahma yishyanti anekadha. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranam
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma then praised Kardam Muni's 9 daughters, saying, all your thin-waisted daughters are certainly very chaste. I am sure they will increase this creation by their own descendants in various ways. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam.
Yeah.
Transport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the beginning of creation, Brahma was concerned more or less with increasing the population, and when he saw that Kardama Muni had already begotten 9 nice daughters, he was hopeful that through the daughters many children would come who would take charge of the creative principles of the material world. He was therefore happy to see them. The word Sumadhyama Dhyama means a good daughter of a beautiful woman. If she has a thin waist, a woman is considered very beautiful. All the daughters of Kardama Muni were of the same beautiful features. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Brahma is also praising Kardama Muni, and is also glorifying his daughters. The 9 daughters were so beautiful, and they were very chaste. And this is the need of the hour was that they wanted some very good chaste daughters, Matajis, so that they can increase the population. That was the requirement at that time. And once the progeny is good, the children are good, and coming from a very good parenthood, both the mother and father are devotees of the Lord, automatically the progeny also will be, they will also be Krishna conscious. They will also be devotees of the Lord. So this way, the creation can, the population can expand, and there will be prosperity and peace all over the globe. So that was their intention. So that's why Brahma is also glorifying them, and by their good Krishna conscious activities, further there will be prosperity and peace all over the world. So here, who are those 9 daughters of Kardama and Devahuti? They were Kala, Anasuya, Shraddha, Havirbhu, Gati, Kriya, Khyati, Arundhati, and Shanti. So these are the 9 daughters of this exalted couple, and they also gave birth to from them. They also gave birth to the Lord, Supreme Lord, who's the incarnation of the Lord, and Kapil Dev. Hare Krishna. So with this, I think, yeah, we will conclude here. And then today being Narsim Jayanti, so there are so many pastimes of the Lord, which actually we have seen that we have heard from the deities, from the devotees, and especially our Mayapur Narsimdev. So there are so many realizations. Pankajangri Prabhu, Jannivas Prabhu, who are Naishtika Brahmacharis, they were worshipping the Narsimdev right from the day it came, and it was installed in Mayapur sometimes in 1970s, early 70s, 72, 73, like that. Sorry, in the 80s, I think it was in the 80s. So what the question arises here is that why we need to have Narsimdev? Why? Because when we are all worshipping Radha Madhav, Radha Krishna, what is the need? Actually, our parampara is all about Radha Krishna. But then, how come Narsimdev is coming here? So it's going to be little interesting. Actually, when Bhakti Thakur was there, he introduced Narsimdev worship, because he was, of course, they were all very exalted devotees, and as the Kali Yuga's the influences were coming more and more, they had prophesied that it is always better that we can have this Narsimha worship, because we are not actually capable of doing seva to the in a purified manner to the Radha Krishna, because we are not in that status. We are having so much of contaminations. So now on a daily basis we are doing so many anarthas. So now to come to that platform of worshipping Radha Krishna is such a high elevated, unless you have to be you're in a Goswami or a Goswamini platform, you cannot do that. It's not so easy. So that is why, in order to help the devotees and help the entire population from these anarthas and then come out of this, to protect the devotees, so he introduced this Narsimha mantra, and then he also introduced this Narsimha seva. Why? Because just like how Lord protected his Prahlad as a young boy, how the Lord appeared and then protected from the very wild and cruel intention of, actually, Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill. He tried so many ways, by being poisoned, by sending him to the forest, by throwing him down the cliff, and by putting him in the fire. So many such cruel practices were done on him, but then still he survived. Prahlad survived. Why? How? Because of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And then the form in which Narsimdev appeared also is unimaginable. And for Hiranyakashipu, who was such a Mayavadi, and then he was out and out Mayavadi. He was such a impersonal worshipper that he would never believed that Lord can be there everywhere. His personal form can be there. He's there in each and every atom. He could not believe that. So that's why Lord came, and then he appeared through the pillar. And then he also came in that very, very unique form. That kind of a form can never be imagined. He came neither half animal and half man. So like that, very, very overwhelming and bewildering form it was. So that is the greatness of the Lord. And as Narsimdev, and how he is protecting, even in Mayapur also, when Radha Madhav were installed, but there was so much of attack with the dacoits and the people who are non-devotees. So then it had to be they had decided that they should worship Narsimdev, and that is how Narsimdev came there. And then to thwart all these miscreants and then all those atheistic people, so Narsimdev came there and protected. And so we have heard so many miracles with this Narsimdev being there, Mayapur Narsimdev. So like that, we understand. That is why the importance of Narsimdev is there. Now today we have all over the world Narsimdev being installed and protecting the devotees. So if you have to do really bhakti, Radha Krishna bhakti, prema bhakti, we need first of all to be protection from this anarthas and all this materialistic propensities, and we're prone to commit mistakes. We are prone to be in Maya. So for all that, Narsimhadev is our supreme protector. Hare Krishna. So that is how we got this. And also we see that Narsimhadev, how the lion and the feline, all the animals, like for example lion, although it appears it can be so fearful and it has so much, it has claws and it can kill anybody, it can tear the flesh, it can eat any animal. At the same time, the lion also has that soft features, like the claws are there, but the palm or the center of the lion, the feet or the thing of the feet of the lion is actually very soft. So that's how when the Lord Narsimhadev had to bless Prahlad, he used the center of his palm and then he blessed it. But when he had to attack Hiranyakashipu, he used the claws with the, so like this, Lord can, if he for the wicked people and for the deceitful people and for his enemies, he can use it as a weapon. And the same hand can be used as a solace for the devotees. He protects, like how we see the lion when the cub, it is taking his cub and it is actually plucking from its teeth. But for the cubs, the small ones, it is actually taking it very, very carefully. Very softly it is carrying it. Although it is holding from the same very powerful or the sharp teeth, but it is very soft as far as the cub is concerned. It is holding it very softly and it is taking care of its kids. But when it has to attack an animal or another prey, he'll use the same teeth in a very ferocious form, and then it can kill those animals. So this appearance of Narsimhadev is considered as this Lord is considered as the beautifully ferocious Lord. He is beautiful at the same time ferocious. Very, very unique combination. So from this Narsimhadev's pastime, we get about what is the take home. The take home is that just like Prahlad was blessed, the first thing is that we can get into this mood of prayer. How Prahlad did the prayer, that is a take home, that we have to be faithful to the Lord, and we should have that implicit faith and do the prayers properly, offer the prayers in a very prayerful mood. And then the second is the perseverance. Despite odds, despite so much of troubles which the material world throws against us, we have to persevere and then continue, like how Prahlad was chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva continues throughout. So we have to do that. And the third is the purification. Lord will, by doing that, and Lord is immensely pleased, he will purify us. Our material existence can become purified. And finally, the protection, Lord's protection, the 4 P's which Narsimhadev can grant us on this day. So as much as possible, let us pray to the Lord and that he gives all of us these 4 P's, and so that we can really achieve our perfection, life perfection. Hari Bol. With that, I'll end today's session.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was a wonderful class and super telling about the pastimes of the glories of Lord Narsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj. It was very wonderful.
Yes, Hari Hari Bol.
Seeking your blessing. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, can we take questions, Prabhuji, if anybody has?
Yes. In case, yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Mataji's or Prabhuji's, anybody has any question? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hope nobody has any question, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Jai.
In the session with the
Patitana Pani Vaishnav. Go Naman. Anatha Vaishnav. Ki Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. All glories to all Matajis and Prabhujis. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll end the